Hello, BrickVention. My name is Bethany Wright. You might see me online as at InteractiveBricks, and it is truly a delight and honor to be with you in spirit for your LEGO convention. I hope that you all are having a wonderful time, and I'm excited to spend a little bit of time with you and very honored that you chose to spend time with me learning about motion. Now, a little bit about me. I built my first LEGO set in 2020 as part of that whole stay sane during the pandemic thing. Then I built my first mock in 2022. Had no idea what I was doing, but I wanted to build with my kids, so I thought it would be fun. Then someone who I met with challenged me and dared me, I bet you can make something move. And I was like, no, please. You misunderstand. I am not an engineer. I do not know mechanics well. There is no way I could make Lego move. But because I'm always up for a challenge, it intrigued me. And so that kickstarted this whole journey for me, loving movement, bringing stories to life in creative and humorous ways. And I hope by the end of our time together, you will be equally as excited to bring movement to your mocks. So below, I've been playing some of the mocks that I've done in the last few years. Bear Gone Fishing, that's not a minifig style mock, that's more of a character movement mock, but the ones we're going to focus on today are like what you see below with Muppet Treasure Island, where you can take minifigs and make them move. So, shall we get started? Now, before we begin, we need to just talk a little bit about terms. Terms are very important. Lego comes with all sorts of different gears and gear sizes, but here's what you need to know. There are your traditional gears that you see here. Those are flat. And then there are bevel gears. These are more rounded. Bevel gears allow you to work at a 90-degree angle. We'll be using some of those today. Additionally, there is a Technic brick and an axle brick. Now, the difference between these two, the Technic brick has a pinhole, round donut hole, and an axle brick has an axle hole. Now, if you're not sure what an axle is, it's that long rod that looks like a plus sign. And the great thing when it comes to measuring these, we measure them based on how long bricks are. So a 4L axle is 4 studs long. Very, very handy there. We've also got cams. We're going to be using those to help us lift things. We have bushes. These are going to act as brakes. So when you're doing stuff that moves, it's easy for things to slide out of place. Bushes are going to act as brakes to hold things where we want them. 2 more terms, then we'll get started. We have a Technic plate. Now notice the Technic brick has a round hole in it. The Technic plates have round holes in them as well. This allows you to stick axles through the plates. And then we have axle connectors. You'll find a few of these in your kit as well. One last piece of advice before you get building. It's very tempting to take the bushes and stick them together as hard as you can. But Lego is not exactly precise when it comes to movements. You don't want to jam something together so much because it's going to get so tight it won't move. So instead, you want to kind of just tease it apart a little bit, make sure things can spin freely, there's no friction because, well, over time, if there's too much friction, it'll actually wear down your build and can create white dust, and nobody wants to ruin their Lego bricks. So the very first mechanism you're going to be learning about is called spin it. I find that this circular movement is the easiest to do, but also captures the attention of the public the most. They'll be walking by, and when they see this something moving in a circular pattern, their eye just goes straight towards it. Now, I'm not going to walk you step through this. I believe you should have your own instructions available for you. If you don't have them physically in front of you, you can go to my website, InteractiveBricks.com, and I have them available on my website as well. But there's a few things I want to show you as we go along. Number one, whenever you're building, you need to build up a platform. Gears and movement pieces need room to move. So you'll notice that we're building up a platform. I like to go as a standard whenever I'm building 5 bricks tall. So I've got 2 bricks, my middle Technic brick, if you will, and then 2 more bricks. And I find that gives me the ability to do the most motion possible in a small enough space. Now, you're going to be using bevel gears for your spin it. However, it is possible when you're taking an axle and you're poking it through something that it can kind of bend or move on you. And if you don't want it to bend or move, now usually like in our application here, it'll be fine, but say you've got a heavier load. If you don't want it to bend or move, consider running it through 2 levels of Technic plates. Can you see here? So we've got 1, 2. That helps line it directly up so that it's not tempted to kind of maneuver out of position. I did a build where a caterpillar, he's got lots of individual sections and he's just moving up and down each section. And by doing this double row here, it prevents things from moving out and binding. Now, when you are doing your movement builds, there are some parts that I like to call my secret weapons. One of those is the donut tile, this 2x2 round tile with a hole. The reason why I bring the donut tile forward is because when Lego is moving, it will actually start creating dust. It will actually start to disintegrate itself. Not like it's going to disappear, but talk to any of the GBC people or anyone who's doing any movement, and you'll notice that they'll always talk about the white dust. So by putting a donut tile here, that does 2 things. 1, it helps protect your brick and the bricks around it. But 2, it also makes sure that things are spinning smoothly. So you can see I have these alien tentacles here. They're able to spin smoothly because this brick is not going and getting stuck on all of the studs. Here are some other secondary ideas for you of spin it. You know, you don't have to keep it in a horizontal pattern. You can do vertical like I have with the windmill here behind me. And then of course you can experiment with splat gears. Those are awesome. Those are those really bright colored gears and they make really fun movements as well. Now the second model you're going to make is called Twist It. Twist It is where you're pivoting about 90 degrees. So you're going from like 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock and back. I have here Piglet playing poo sticks. It works great. Looks like he's pivoting back and forth. Now, when you're doing your Twist It, it's important that your mechanism is lined up properly. That's why I've given you these bushes here to help you precisely line it up. There's no need really to hold these candlesticks in place. They're not really going to move, but having that extra break and hold, it's a nice safety to have. Now, when you are doing your minifigure movements, sometimes it is easy for the minifigure to fall off. It's very easy for it to not attach well. One secret I like to use, I call it the hat brick, but it's a Technic bracket. You should have one of those in your kit. You're going to attach that Technic bracket to the legs, the back of the legs of the minifigure. So when the minifigure is just standing, centrifugal force and other movements can easily throw it off. But I have never lost a minifigure, well, knock on wood, I have never lost a minifigure using these Technic brackets here to hold them on. Some other ways that you can make this twisted motion, there's all sorts of methods you can use. This particular method, the one we're using, is similar to one that I saw in the Lunar New Year parade. What's great, all Lego instructions are free and online, so if you want to go look at that set, you can dig in and see how they got that mechanism set up. You can use a Technic pulley with a rubber wheel and rubber axles. There are many ways to make pivot platforms. Say that 5 times fast. Here are 2 other examples of Twist It. Now, what I want you to see is the difference that removing one pusher can make. So you'll see here, I've got 2 things here. Remember, I'm not an engineer, so I don't always have the right words. You've got 2 things here that are pushing it. So it's making him jump up and twist at the same time. But to create the idea of 2 people dancing under the moon, I took one away. Same motion, 2 completely different effects. The last motion you're going to build today is called the Bop It. That is helping you make minifigures jump. So I've got 3 jumping carrots and a really jumping Tigger here. Now, For your instructions, because we want to be able to get all of our mechanisms to work all at once, you're going to notice that we're not putting the axle at a far end of our cam. So notice here, it's not the two ones here or here. You're going to put it in this one. There's no scientific reason why we're using it. That's just what fits in the space we have. The longer type of cam that you use, the higher it's going to lift your minifigure. Now, I wonder if it shows it. No, I'll explain this on this slide as well. This movement, as it lifts, it's going to cause your minifigure to spin. The reason why it's spinning is it's lifting it on a side, but there's nothing holding it in place, holding it in track. This one, as it lifts, will not spin. You have your axle bricks here that are just kind of gliding along the wall, and that holds it in position. So in this one module, you'll have two different kinds of lifting movements that you can use for whatever purpose you may want. Now, you'll also see we're using a boat tile, or you may have a donut tile. I'm not sure which one your kit might come with. Both of these work great. You don't want to have exposed studs for the thing to hit because, again, it's going to cause it to stutter. Now, there are different cams that you can use that create different effects. Remember when I said about the different holes you put the cam in? Notice how this particular one lifts extra high. It lifts extra high because I changed which hole the cam in went with, so you can experiment with that. But here are some of the different cams you can use. All of these work as fantastic lifters. And if you go to J.K. Brickworks' video YouTube, you can actually see where he tries out all the different cams and shows you what lifting pattern they achieve. Now, it is very important when you pick which cam you're going to use to lift that your lifting platform is wide enough. Now, let me explain what I mean. Here, we're using this black piece as our lifting platform. This is the exact same build, but based on which direction I turn it, it's either striking the bottom of it or, see right here how it's hitting the side? That's going to cause your model to explode. Don't do that. It will happen to you at some point. It happens to all of us. But make sure when you're making a lifting platform, it is wide enough that the cam hits underneath and not on the side. Now, here are some applications for the bop it mechanism. We talked about the pirate for the spinning before, but the cockatiel here is bumping up and down with a very small little bop it motion. Here, the prospector is lifting his gold pan using that same bop it method. So two different expressions, but to accomplish the same goal. Now, you've got some bonus builds. Those are ones that you are welcome to use. They change how it looks. So whether something is spinning tightly internally like this or on an extension so they look like they're running in circles, as well as using knob gears and some other things. Those are for you to experiment either today or at home. But what I want to tell you about is gearing. So I have a whole class that I do on how to use electric motors and to display for a show. That's like its own topic. For right now, we're just covering like hand cranked things. But I want to show you how the gears that you choose, the size, can have an impact on the speed of which things move. Now, once again, I am not an engineer. I am learning the engineer terms, but I'm a background as a teacher at heart. So a teacher of history. So we're going to talk about how the different size gear you uses impacts the output at the other end. So you've got, oh, hopefully you're okay. My computer just gave me the pinwheel of death. All right, hopefully this recording's okay. Here you've got a small gear and a large gear. When you power a small gear, and it turns a larger gear, the torque goes up and the speed goes down. In other words, if you want to slow down your mechanism, consider having a small gear go to a big gear. Likewise, if you want, let's see, where is it? Ah, here we go. Likewise, if you want to go speed something up, go from a large gear to a small gear. Now, we can get really nerdy about this, like if you have to lift something that's really heavy, you need to increase the torque or the power, so you're going to want to look at something that increases the torque going from small to big. But here is how I, the non-engineer, remember it. If you're going from big to small, that's going to give you speed. If you're going from small to big, it gives you power. So I will do that one more time. Again, a teacher, I like hand motions. So if you're going from large to small, that gives you speed. If you're going from small to large, it gives you power and it slows things down. If you want to nerd out on gear ratios, there are all sorts of great resources out there, but just know the reason it does this is gear ratios and insert all the fancy mechanical words. Now, just to put what we've learned onto the screen and in video, you'll notice here, oh, I hope it's playing okay. Here you've got the small gear spinning. Well, maybe it's not spinning. I don't know. Hopefully you saw it earlier in the video. The small gear, when it spins, well, it looks like it's not playing. Anyway, hopefully you understand that idea. You can also do compound gearing. Looks like maybe it's working. You can also do compound gearing where you line them up to increase your power or increase your speed as you desire. So thank you for letting me fire hose you with all of that information. I hope that as you work through the builds, you have a lot of fun. Feel free to ask questions of those around you if you're doing something and you're not sure why it's working. One thing I love about the LEGO community is how much we're here to help each other. So more resources for you if you want to learn more about movement. Number one, you can go to my website, InteractiveBricks.com. I have a bunch more resources. If you go to the movement tab on my website, you're going to see a whole list of sources. I work for Tips and Bricks, and so I wrote the post we have on making mechanisms move, and that goes into all sorts of fun details. Another person you can check out is the Brick Consultant. He is fantastic at teaching and showing you how to make motion, especially close up so you can see what he's doing. And then I also recommend JK Brickworks. He has a lot of instructions available on Rebrickable, either for free or that you can purchase so you can study the mechanisms and see how they work. So if you want to connect with me online, I'm on Instagram at @InteractiveBricks, or you can send me an email, info@interactivebricks.com. We just started a Discord, it's like an online forum, for creative movements. So if you're somebody who wants to get help with their ideas or maybe wants to see what other people are doing, come join our Discord. Just shoot me an email, again, info@interactivebricks.com, and say, hey, send me the Discord link, and I will be happy to connect you. Well, thank you so much, BrickVention, for letting me join you in spirit today. I hope that you have a wonderful time building, and I will see you online. Thank you, everybody.